Hello, everybody. It's another wonderful week, amazing week. I hope you all had a fantastic week. We just started the week on Monday, so I hope you're having a fantastic week. I am having a wonderful, wonderful week. Let's just see what's going on. If you're live with me today, please, and if you can hear me, please give me a thumbs up. I've been trying to work on the volume, but I'm not sure if it's working. If you can hear me, please give me the thumbs up that you can hear me. Thank you very much, Davida. Thank you for joining me. Please, if you can hear me, give me a thumbs up that you can hear me, or if you can let me know in the comment section below that you can hear me, please. Thank you, Mohammed Sarumi, for joining me. Thank you, Oluwatoyin. You're welcome. Please, as you come, share the video and invite your friends as well. If you can hear me, can you all hear me? Because I've been having some issues with my volume. I'm not sure if it's working. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, David. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining me. So I want to welcome you all to The Real You today. Last week we spoke about identity crisis amongst women, and we looked at some of the reasons why women suffer identity crisis. We looked at childhood, we looked at environment, we looked at peer pressure, we looked at educational system, how the school affects women as well. Thank you, Wayne Duncan, for joining me. I appreciate you. Please, as you come, please share the video. Thank you. So we looked at that. An identity crisis, what it just simply means is a woman that is struggling from understanding who she is, like knowing who she is. That is basically identity crisis. Someone that is struggling from saying, this is who I am. So that was what we looked at last week, and we considered some of the ways that such women can help themselves, and we're going to continue talking about this. We're going to keep talking about it, because this is The Real You. Is all about discovering yourself, is all about identifying, some things that could be hindering you from discovering yourself, or some of the things perhaps that have hindered you from long time ago from realizing who you truly are. And if you don't know who you are, life will just be difficult. It will be so difficult. Like Miles Monroe said, when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. So there's no way as a woman you'll be able to escape abuse if you don't know who you are, if you're struggling with understanding who you truly are, even from the perspective of who you are in God and who you are in general as a person, who you have been created to be. Thank you, Rachel, for joining me. I really appreciate that. So today I want us to talk about inferiority complex, because inferiority complex is a negative complex that comes, it comes as a result of when a woman lacks her self-worth, when she doesn't know her worth as a woman. She suffers from inferiority complex. And also, if she has doubt and she has uncertainty about who she truly is, if she's having doubt about who she is, then that can come as a result of that inferiority complex. And majorly, thank you DJ for joining me, and thank you Fumi Adewusi for joining me. Please share the video as you come in. Thank you. So we're talking about inferiority complex amongst women. Thank you Sam for joining me. So inferiority, like I said, is a lack of self-worth. When a woman doesn't know her worth, when she cannot say, okay, this is my worth as a woman, she struggles with inferiority complex. And I've said is also as a result of doubt. She has some doubt. She's not certain. She's not convinced. She's not really rooted on who she is. Thank you, Mr. Evans, for joining me. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Florence, for joining me. Thank you, Samuel, for joining me. So it's a major thing. I suffered inferiority complex as well, and as we go along, I will share with you guys, some of the things, that I went through as a result of inferiority complex. Now, where does that inferiority complex comes from? The same thing. It comes from a faulty foundation as well. I spoke about faulty foundation. For those of you who haven't watched my video that I did on faulty foundation, you can check it out on my YouTube channel, Elizabeth Ali. And I spoke about two things. When a woman lacks love, when she lacks attention, and when she lacks affirmation, it does affect her, because it puts her in that place, in that position where she is struggling. Like she's not really she lacks confidence, and she's not really aware of who she is. So faulty foundation, maybe from your childhood, probably you probably come from, if you come from like a family where they're always comparing you as well with someone, you can have that inferiority, because you'll always be feeling that you're not good enough, especially when you've done something and then you're being told, oh, this person is better than you, and things like that. And another thing as well is failure in the past. If you've had failure in the past before, it can affect you as a woman. Think about it. Maybe you failed an exam, or maybe you failed in any, maybe in a business or something, in any area of your life, or maybe it's a failed marriage. You feel inferior, you feel you're not good enough, you feel unworthy. That feeling is always there. And one of the major causes as well of inferiority complex is negative thinking. Negative thinking can give birth to that inferiority complex, because when you're always thinking negative about yourself, you will always feel inferior. And another thing as well is broken relationship. When you go through a broken relationship as a woman, especially for single women, you come to that place where, thank you so much, Tosin, for joining me. Thank you, Kemax, that's my big brother. Thank you so much for joining me. So when you go through a broken relationship, as an example, it can actually affect you, because you're going to feel like, especially if it is the person that like left you, and maybe the person said some certain things to you, then you begin to feel inferior. You begin to feel like, oh, you don't deserve this person, and all those kind of feelings. So inferiority complex that feeling of inferiority can come from diverse places. It can come from everywhere, but majorly it comes from our childhood. I will always continue to refer to it, because your child, the way you grow up kinds of shapes you. It kinds of forms your belief system, the things you believe about yourself, and it helps you as well to have, your childhood gives you a perspective about yourself, perspective perspective about life, perspective about everything in general. So you can imagine if you had like a rough childhood where you were not affirmed and you were not told anything about who you are. Of course, you're always going to feel, inferior. And what are some of the signs? Thank you so much, Mrs. Ufoma, for joining me. And thank you, Olainka Shehu. Thank you, Stella. I really appreciate you all. Please, if you can share the video as well, please. Thank you. So what are some of the signs what are some of the things that you will know that, okay, you're feeling that feeling of inferiority, like you have that complex? What are some of the signs? One of the signs is extreme sensitivity. I remember like years ago, I used to be very sensitive about what people say to me. Like, I remember this story when I was young. Like, there's this one of our neighbor who makes jokes about, like, my legs, because I have K leg. One of my leg is straight and the other leg is not really straight. So the person used to make joke about it. So I became really sensitive to that part of myself. I became so sensitive, and when I look at my legs as well, I used to have this thing that it's like tuber. I used to call it like tuber of yam, like the way athletes, the way their legs look like. So I became very conscious, and because of that, I started wearing trousers. I used to wear like long skirt. Like, I would never wear short skirt, so I became very sensitive to things as little as that. And anytime I'm around women that have, fine straight legs, I begin to feel inferior. I feel like, they're better than me, and stuff like that. But today I don't really feel that way. I wear skirt, I wear my dresses, my short dresses, I don't really care, but women who struggle with inferiority, they are highly sensitive. When you say things to them, when you criticize them, or when you tell them, look at the way you look, they are very sensitive to things like that. And it makes them go into depression. They become depressed because they have that feeling that, oh my God, this part of me is this, or I'm not. That thing is always going to come, and it brings about depression, amongst women. So another thing is that some of these women, they are socially withdrawn. For me, like, because I suffer this complex a lot, like, I hardly go out where people are. And if I do, I'll probably don't want to engage myself in, I will not even want to go out, because I always feel like, like people are, every woman like is better than me. So I will never want to put myself, in that position. I will never put myself in that place. So that feeling of inferiority, like, is so major amongst women, and is majorly amongst the women that suffer from identity crisis. Because women who know their worth, women who know that, I know who I am, who are grounded in themselves, like, they hardly feel inferior, because they are constantly, seeing abilities, they are constantly seeing good things about themselves. But women who don't know who they are, they don't even know they don't know anything good, about themselves. They cannot tell you that, oh, I can see this strength in me, I can see this thing in me. They will not say that. They will always have that feeling. It will always be there, especially for single women. If you're in a relationship, I'm not sure, like, if anyone can relate to this. If you're in a relationship with someone that is probably of a higher status than you, or maybe they are better than you in somewhat level, you feel like you don't deserve this person. You feel like, you just feel like this person is so good, like it's too good to, you know, to be with you, because you feel inferior. um like I remember, thank you so much, Onila, for joining me. Thank you, Pace, for joining me. You know, I remember in my last relationship, oh my God, because this guy is an amazing human being. Naturally, he's a very good guy. And he dresses well, like he always wants to look good. And because another thing is that women will suffer from inferiority complex, like when they feel inferior, they don't really care about themselves, they don't care about their look, they don't really pay attention to themselves. So, and that was what was going on. I don't really pay attention to the way I look, to the way I dress. I don't really pay attention to those things. But then again, every time I'm with him, I always feel like, you know, I feel like, oh, like, you know, like it feels like I don't deserve him. Like, you know, he's too good for me, you know. And that is one thing inferiority will always always put you. It puts you in that place where you're always thinking that people are better than you, because you can't see anything good about yourself. When you're dating a man, you feel like, oh, this man is too good, you know, you shouldn't be going out with this person because of his status or because of anything, you know. So it's such a depressing thing, you know. So that was how I was always seeing myself. I feel like I don't deserve his love. I feel like, you know, I don't deserve his attention, even though I know that that is what I want. But because of that inferiority, I feel like, you know, he deserves someone better. Like he deserves to be with someone better. And as a result, I wasn't putting so much effort in the relationship. I wasn't, you know, trying to upgrade myself, or trying to pay attention to the way I look, or to the way, you know, I am approached, you know. So that can really, you know, affect you, even in relationship, even in marriage as well, even in your workplace, anywhere you find yourself, it will always affect you. So I've already said one place it does affect you, which is in your relationship. Thank you so much, Pastor ID, for joining me. I really appreciate you. So one of the places that one of the ways, or one of the place inferiority can actually the feeling of when you feel inferior can affect you, is it affects you in the way you see yourself. You have a wrong perspective about yourself. Like you look at yourself, like I've said, that you feel you're not good enough. You feel like everybody is better than you. You feel like everyone is intelligent than you. You feel like you just have a wrong perspective about yourself, and everything about you will just be irritating you. You know, there are women who are just irritated by things unnecessarily, but I know that that feeling of inferiority is one of the things that affects women, you know. Thank you so much, Pastor Chris, for joining me. You know, so another place inferiority complex can another place that it does affect you as well is that because you don't see anything good about you as a woman, it prevents you from developing yourself personally. Like you don't feel the need to develop yourself, because you feel like, anyway, people are better than me, you know, so there is no need, there's no point for me to even try. It prevents you from personal development. Like you're not gonna have that need of saying, okay, let me try. That willingness for you to say, okay, I want to try my best, I want to put in effort, is not going to be there, because you've already written yourself off. You've already put yourself down there, and because you've already put yourself down there, it's really hard, you know, for you to say, okay, I want to make effort, let me make effort. And you know, it does affect, because I've been in relationship, and I know that even for married women as well, it does affect you. Like when you're married and you feel inferior to your husband, like I said, because of his status, or because of whatever reason you feel maybe your husband is better than you, you know, you don't have any willingness to say you want to try, like you want to you want to try your best to maybe, you know, work on yourself, to maybe to work on yourself and try hard, you know. And it does affect women. And if you're married, that kind of a feeling can actually, you know, cause problems in your marriage, because your husband will be expecting you to, you know, raise up yourself, like work on yourself, like think positive about yourself. Your husband will always be having that expectation that, you know, woman, get up, you know, just be like, you know, just he would just be having that expectation, you know. So it does affect you, in it affects your personal development as a woman. Like I said, when I was in that relationship, there was no willingness at all for me to try and say I want to work on myself. In fact, especially the looking good aspect, I don't feel the need. I feel like there is no need. He's already better. Like there is no need for me to even say I want to work on myself. um Pastor Craig, is it your network or mine? My network is it's saying okay. Pastor Chris, I'm not sure if it's my network. I'm not sure. Thank you so much, Queen TY, for joining me. I really appreciate that. And you know, another place as well, one of the things that inferiority does as well, but I look at this particular point in a positive way, is that you have a perfectionist syndrome. Like you have, because you're down there, because you feel that feeling of not good enough is there for you. So you always want to you have a certain expectation, like things should be perfect, you know. You're down there, but you're looking at other people because they are better than you, so you expect them to be perfect, you expect them to talk perfectly, you expect them to do things perfectly. So, and that syndrome can actually, you know, affect you, because if you have a very high expectations for people, they can actually disappoint you. And when people disappoint you, your hope will be crushed. It will be crushed, and you will just you know, you will be broken on the inside. Pastor Chris said it keeps freezing. Okay, just give me 1 second. Let me check if my internet is still on. Is anyone experiencing network problem? If you're experiencing network problem, please can you kindly let me know. I'm just trying to check. Okay, my network is fine. Thank you, Mr. Christopher, for joining me. Thank you, Bernard. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. So another thing as well that inferiority complex can do to you as a woman is that it steals energy from you. Like you will constantly be complaining, like you'll be complaining, your ears are this, your nose is that, you can't do this, you're not intelligent. You will constantly be complaining, and you will not even have any single energy whatsoever. You wouldn't even have one single time as a woman to see anything good about you. You will constantly be complaining, and as a result, you will also be complaining about the people around you. You will always you will just be seeing negative things about people. Like there will just be nothing positive around you, and it steals energy. It takes a lot of time, because everything in life is energy. Everything is energy. So if things are taking up your energy, then it's taking up your time. And because time is life, if anything is taking up your time, then it's taking your life away. So it can actually affect you, you know, as a woman. And another thing that it does for you as well is that it hinders you from displaying your personality. Like you will not want to, like for example, like me, I am like majorly sanguine. Like in my temperament, I am majorly sanguine. So as like when I go to places and people are happy, like, you know, I'm happy and cheering and all that kind of a thing with people. And then when I go to any place people are sad, you know, I shut down as well. I am sad with them. But you know, when I go to a place, because of that inferiority, I feel everyone is better than me. So I kind of like, I feel I don't want to, like, you know, display my personality. Give me 1 second, please. Give me 1 second, please. Comedy. Sorry guys, I'm really sorry. My son is not really feeling well, so I have to constantly go check up on him. I do apologize for that. So thank you. Let me see. Okay, it keeps freezing. Wow, I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on. I do apologize for that. If you're just joining me, we're talking about inferiority complex, and we've said that, you know, inferiority complex, you know, is born from negative thinking, is born from childhood, is born from broken relationship. You know, all kinds of things can actually, you know, give birth to that like that feeling of inferiority. And you know, the more distortion you have, the less attention you pay to developing yourself, the less attention you pay to caring for yourself, the less attention you pay to, you know, try and work on your mind or work on yourself in general. So that feeling of inferiority, it does affect us as women a lot. It affects us a lot. Even in relationship, everywhere we go, it is affecting us. Sometimes I see some women, you know, they always complain about themselves, complain about their body, they complain about, like, they can find like 100 and a billion negative things in their self. And you know, that alone is enough to make you depressed, is enough to make you hate yourself. It gives birth to self-hatred. If that complex, it gives birth to self-hatred, and you don't want to you know, put yourself in that position where you just hate yourself. And if you hate yourself, trust me, it's gonna cause you to do like some horrible things to yourself, and you wouldn't, you know, you wouldn't just, you trust me, you don't want to be there. So if you're struggling with that inferiority, what are some of the things that you can do to help yourself? And these are things that I have done, and it has really helped me a lot, because I suffered majorly with this feeling, that feeling of inferiority. Everywhere I go, I'm always feeling that every woman is better than me because of my body, like because of the way I looked. I used to consider myself then as if I have a manly body or something like that. And that's why sometimes, like, I'm really scared of going to the gym. Like, I don't want to go to the gym because I feel like by the time I gym, I will just tone my body to look like a man. My body, my whole entire body will just be like a man. So if I feel a little bit of overweight, I would rather eat to shed off the weight rather than to go doing any hard exercise or things like that, you know. So I suffered from inferiority a lot, you know. It did really affect me. So what are some of the things that you can do? One of the first things that you can do is you need to change your thinking. Someone said that 90% you live 90% in your subconscious mind. So that means your mind is so powerful, and because all these things are actually coming from, you know, your thoughts, you know, is as a result of the things that has been registered. Maybe you've been told of you're not good enough, or you've been, so many negative things have been sown into your mind. So excuse me, so as a result of that, you know, you begin to think less of yourself, and so change your thinking. Your mind is so powerful as a woman. Like, don't joke with your mind at all. Your mind is like if your mind is messed up, your life will be messed up, and that is the truth. So you also want to be careful. What are some of the things you pay attention to? What are some of the things you allow into your mind? You have to take care of your mind. The way you like you hold an egg, you know, take care of your mind like that. change your thinking. And one of the ways you can change your thinking is by getting things that are positive. You know, go read books that will expand your mind. Read inspirational books that will, you know, help you as a woman to build your confidence, as a woman to build your self-worth. And for those of us that are Christians, you know, you can go and study the Bible properly. I will encourage you to study more of the New Testament. You know, soak yourself in the Word of God and let the Word of God affirm you. You know, use the Word of God to change your mindset. And if you're not a believer, if you don't believe in God and you don't study your Bible, get inspirational books. Go to YouTube. There are messages there, you know, and I thank God for Dr. Sunday Adelaja. He has done a lot of messages that will help us women. He has a whole series on women that will really help you. You need to change your thinking. You need to change the way you, like, the things you think about yourself. Like, whether you're short or you're tall or you're fat or you're thin or your nose is big or you're this or you're that. You know, you need to change your thinking. And to be very honest, it doesn't look good. We don't really look good when we feel inferior. It doesn't really look good. So one of the things you can do is to soak yourself, change your mindset. And another thing that you can do is to identify your abilities. I am telling you, as a woman, there are good things about you. Don't just focus on the negative. Identify your uniqueness, the things that makes you different. And it is always those things that makes us different that we are always trying to feel people are better than us as a result of that. You know, identify those things that are unique about you. Anything. Like me, I know I can talk, and is a unique thing for me, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. When you identify your uniqueness, identify the things that are good about you, one of the things you want to do is to begin to celebrate yourself in them. In fact, pop champagne and be enjoying yourself, that you have found good things about yourself. If whatever it is, you know, keep affirming yourself every single day, telling yourself, I can do this, I can do that. You know, tell yourself, if you can organize whatever it is that you can do, identify your strength and identify your abilities. You know, and since we're talking about discovering yourself, I spoke about your foundation. Realizing who you are not is the first key, is the first step in discovering yourself. You know, so, and this as well is the second step to discovering yourself, is identifying your strength, identifying your uniqueness, identifying your abilities. If you're a Christian woman, what are the things that God has said about you? Those are the things you want to concern yourself with. Don't be worried about. In fact, your weaknesses as well makes up for who you are. It makes up for who you are. But if you can change your thinking, you will begin to use those weaknesses as a platform for you. I will give you an example with myself. And this is the third key. This is the third step in discovering yourself, which is identifying your weaknesses as well. Because most often than not, it is those our weaknesses that we always look at as things that we feel that people are better than us for. We pull all our weaknesses, put them before us, and then we feel everybody else is better than us. And then we use our weaknesses to measure up for other people's abilities, for their strength, for the things that they are good at. So, you know, one of the things that I know is a weakness for me is that I don't have patience. Like, I don't have patience. And because I've been able to identify that during my journey of discovering myself, I identified that impatience is a weakness for me. What did I do? Now, I used it in both ways. I use it two ways. before I used to feel bad that, why am I impatient like this? And it always gets me to trouble, because, when I want to do something, I don't want to wait. Especially like if I go into relationships and things like that, it does affect me. So what are the things, because I know it's a weakness, what do I do? Thank you so much, Pastor Kemi, for joining me. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Omonike. Thank you, April. Thank you, Esther. Thank you, Sarah. I really appreciate you all. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you guys so much. So, if you're just joining me, we're talking about inferiority complex. It does affect women who suffer from identity crisis. And one of the things that we said is that those inferiority complex can come as a result of negative thinking. Negative thinking is the basis for such complex. And we've also spoken of we've spoken about the ways that you can deal with it. We've spoken about changing your thinking, changing your thoughts, changing your mindset, and also being aware of your strength. Identify the things that you're good at, identify your uniqueness, and identify your strength, identify them. And what we're talking about right now is your weaknesses are also one of the things that you use as a measure up to people, that to say people are better than you. So now, one thing I do is this: if I want to do anything, because I know that I'm not really strong with patience, one of the things I do is I try to take a step back to really plan and to prepare properly. Why? Because I have already identified it, and I know that is the weakness. So I am conscious anytime I want to do something, especially if that thing requires patience. You can think about it that way. If I were to go into a relationship with someone, or if I were to venture into a business, and all I want is, I want the end result, I want to go for it and I want to do it, and without preparation and without planning, of course it's going to backfire. And when it backfires, I'm going to come back, to feeling, oh, I have failed. And because I have failed, other people are better than me. I will always feel that. So one of the things I do is that I become conscious of it, and then I try to prepare myself properly. I make sure I plan myself. If I know that I am going to in the midst of people and I know I will feel somehow, I prepare myself, and also one of the things that it does help me, that impatience does help me as well, is when I have goals, I go for my goals straight away. When I want to do something, when I see something that I want, when I see something that I can do, I go for it straight away. And plus, I am very stubborn as well. I have said this so many times. I'm very, very stubborn. God knows it. People, like, I know it. And because I know it, I am conscious. Because the thing is that when you identify your weaknesses, you know them, you're conscious of them, then you work on them. And then you don't allow them to measure up as something you'll be using. Because if I'm looking at my friend, I'm saying, my friend is very obedient, my friend is this, my friend is that, oh, she's better than me, I am stubborn, no. But there are also things, if I pick up my strength, I can use my strength to measure up as well. So it does affect us a lot. Inferiority complex does affect us a lot. So I would like to, thank you so much, Comfort, for joining me. I really appreciate you. I would like to know your thoughts, and I would like to know what you think, or if you have any question you would like to ask me, anything, I am happy to answer your questions. I've shared 3 steps as well to discovering yourself. One of the steps is realizing who you're not, going back to your foundation and see some of the things that has shaped you, some of the values, some of the belief system that you have been carrying. If those belief systems are negative, if they are faulty, then it is likely that it is affecting you as a woman. And also identifying your strength. Identifying your strength does help you to become aware of who you are as well, and it helps you to know your worth as a woman. It helps you to know that I'm not going to use this person, this thing to measure up for who I am, you know. And also identifying your weakness, becoming aware of your weaknesses as well. Thank you so much, darling Madu, for joining me. So these are the ways you can get rid of that inferiority. The most important one is changing your thoughts, changing your thinking, change the way you see yourself. Like, women are powerful, women are amazing, women are great gift to this world, women are valuable addition to this world. Like, the power of a woman cannot be underestimated, I'm telling you. And we bring beauty to this world. So one of the things the enemy wants to do to us is to make us feel that other people are better than us, and it brings us down. We don't showcase who we are. And when you don't showcase who you are, you're denying the world of your beauty. You're denying the world, you know, of seeing that, you know, amazing thing about you. Thank you so much, darling, for joining me. Thank you. So guys, that is one negative complex that affects women with identity crisis. Inferiority complex affects women with identity crisis. And if you can follow through with the steps that I've given, it's gonna help you, you know, it's gonna help you to build confidence in who you are, because you're gonna start, you know, dwelling on your strength. You're gonna start managing your weaknesses. You'll be using your weaknesses to do things that, you know, are positive, rather than using your weaknesses to bring down yourself. And also, I want to say this as well, because I know that weight issue is something that affects a lot of women. Like, you know, when a woman is overweight, like, it does affect her. I remember when I had my son, you know, I added so much weight, and it made me hate myself. Like it just, I was just so down, you know. But I started working on myself, you know. I tried my best, you know, to start eating healthy and to do some few exercises so that I can feel better. And you know, when you feel better, you know, it opens you up to, you know, to think, yeah, when you feel better, you feel happy, you know, you feel happy about yourself. Although external things don't define you, the things that define you are from inside. But I know that weight is something that, you know, it affects women, you know. So guys, I want to say a very big thank you to you all that joined me today. I would like to ask us to please share this video. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much, Mr. Paul. Thank you, Charles, for joining me. Thank you, darling. Thank you, Mrs. Adiola Disu. Thank you, my big sis TY. I appreciate you. Thank you, Oluwatoyin. I really appreciate you guys so much. And I want to say to all the women that, you know, you're strong, you're amazing, you are wonderful. Don't think negative about yourself. I know that feeling when you feel inferior, when you feel other women are better than you, maybe because of whatever reason, you know, when you feel that they are better than you, it can affect you. But, you know, write down your strength, write down some good things about you, you know, and focus on your strength. Switch on the laser light on your strength and begin to see yourself, and it will boost your confidence as well. Thank you, Larry, for joining me. I really appreciate you so much. So I want to say thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys next week on another episode. We will also be looking at another negative complex that affects women with identity crisis, and as we go along, we will continue to expatiate on the fact that, you know what, you are unique, you are amazing, you are not a mistake. Don't use anything negative, anything you see in yourself as a weakness, to use it and say and put yourself down. Don't put yourself down. I have done it for so many years, and it didn't do anything good to me. It didn't. it rather shattered me as a woman. It just destroyed me. So don't do that to yourself. And until I see you guys again, please keep being yourself. Be real, be you, be yourself. You know, embrace who you are, embrace yourself, embrace your weakness, embrace everything that comes with who you are, your quirkiness, everything, your legs, your eyes, your body, embrace everything. It is who you are. You cannot separate it. So thank you guys so much for doing live video with me. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you guys next week, Wednesday at 9 p.m. UK time and Nigerian time as well. Bye everyone.